An interesting thing about Matt Walsh is that he tends to only use arguments that make sense if you already agree with him. He loves to use unspoken premises and unspoken conclusions. Like, this does not make a concrete claim against trans women being women. He is even willing to admit that women without wombs, women who can't bear children, are still in fact women, which means the childbearing nature of it is not the essence of womanhood. But he never makes any claim on why trans women don't meet this criteria of being a woman, but not a childbearing woman. You just have to already agree with him on that. If it helps you out, just think all trans women don't have a womb because of a birth defect.
This is Matt Walsh claiming that millions of trans people are on puberty blockers during an interview on Joe Rogan's podcast, until a fact check suggests that the true number is less than 1,000 per year. I gotta admit, I didn't watch or listen to this episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, and I've only seen this clip, and it seems as if, much like Matt Walsh's documentary, What is a Woman, I didn't miss much. I'll get back to this later. Matt Walsh doesn't have the stats to back his anti-trans stance, just feelings. I mean, here's a conservative viewpoint I found in this random article online from the Human Life International asking, what percentage of transgenders regret surgery? It cited two studies. This one that claims that 11% of female respondents reverted back to their original sex, and transgender men had a reversion rate of 4%. And this study, a meta-analysis of studies conducted ranging back from 1988 to 2018 to determine the rate of regret for those who had undergone gender affirmation surgeries, and found that regret was less than 1%. Now, what got me about this article was when the writer tried to excuse the truth, saying those who have lived life as a transgender male or female and who have detransitioned claim that the numbers are much higher and that people are afraid to speak out. I'm sorry. Are we just going to gloss over the people who won't even seek a diagnosis of gender dysphoria, let alone seek gender-affirming care due to societal pressure, which may include surgeries? There's always regret when it comes to surgeries or procedures. I wonder how many adults with braces can't stand how much they cost, or how they make us talk, or the discomfort, or even how they look knowing that it will improve our appearance one day. With that said, when the Matt Walshes and Steven Crowders of the world complain about the regret a small number of trans people face after gender-affirming surgeries, they co-opt data from gender identity disorder, as if it's gender dysphoria, the difference of which is critical to know when looking at numbers to the amount of trans people who detransition.
If you read this down here, it is one of the people that worked on the DSM-5 explaining how gender dysphoria is more concrete, more restrictive than gender identity disorder, which was the thing it replaced. Make sure to look for that when you're looking at dissonance statistics, please. So it became necessary for a child to say that they are the opposite gender before anything can ever be done. Gender atypical behavior is not enough to be called trans by the medical community, and it was designed to be that way.
Dissonance meaning a form of cognitive dissonance experienced by trans people due to a misalignment of their subconscious and physical sexes. Gender dissonance differs somewhat from the psychiatric term gender dysphoria, which typically conflates this cognitive dissonance regarding one's sex with the mental stresses that arise from the societal pressure to conform to gender norms. This starts with children. For example, if a boy runs or throws a certain way, they get told they run or throw like a girl, and it's meant to be an issue with femininity and made out to be a bad thing. If a girl were to outrun or outthrow those boys, they're called tomboys, masculine, good, but not for her. Yet we pretend like we base one's sex on genitals or chromosomes, despite the fact that when I bought my son this Black Panther watch a few years ago, it was in the boys section. The section of that store was assigned, labeled that way. The watch nor the store has chromosomes or genitals. Why are we looking for genitals? And we can't see chromosomes. So, to answer Matt Walsh's question, by the way, what is a woman? It's an adult female. We know this. We've known this. He does too. But we conflate sex with gender. Matt should know that the amount of people under the age of 18 who have, for instance, top surgery is a couple hundred per year, and about 1,000 trans youth per year start puberty blockers. I could go over the actual numbers, but I doubt it would actually matter. And as much as I want Matt Walsh to keep talking to prove how dumb he can be, I also recognize that he needs to be quiet on this matter because he's causing harm to people and denying them the care they need, which could lead to suicide. The wrong people will hear him and believe him, especially when Joe Rogan won't challenge what he's saying. But I'm an adult with braces, so what do I know? Can't ask for too much here.
You are not allowed to care about it, they say. We're supposed to just accept a rule which says, having a white actor play Black Panther is horribly racist, but it's also horribly racist to complain about a black actor playing The Little Mermaid.
Matt Walsh is upset. Actually, a lot of white people are upset. Why? Because The Little Mermaid has been cast and a black actress is playing the role. That's right. Halle Bailey is playing the role of the Little Mermaid, and they are upset that their fictional underwater character is black. It's a fictional mermaid. But Alonzo, aren't all mermaids fictional? Well, apparently not. Apparently, there's some real ones, and these white people are representing them, saying that they should be white. I had no idea that underwater creatures had a color, but it's a big deal. And making one black is blasphemy. And they are so upset. Matt Walsh is so upset he's using it to explain all of racism, and he's somehow mad that a white guy can't play Black Panther. Well, you know what, Matt? Go for it.
But that rule is indefensible and hypocritical in the extreme. And we all know it. And yet we're supposed to just acquiesce to it. That's what all this is about in the end. It's not about the movies. I don't even watch any of these movies.
That's right, Matt. Make a movie. Have a white guy play the Black Panther. Now, there may be some rules involved regarding copyrights and licensing fees, but assuming you pay all of those, you can have anyone play the part that you want. So please, have a white guy play Black Panther. You know what rule gets in the way of that, Matt? The rule of making money. That's right. I don't know if you've heard, but entertainment is a big profit industry, particularly movies, particularly Black Panther, which was a $1 billion movie. Maybe the black guy playing the Black Panther had something to do with that billion, but you go ahead and prove him wrong. Have a white guy play Black Panther. I mean, imagine the tens of people who will go see that movie. That's right, you and your most racist friends. And don't worry, we as black people won't be offended. No, sir, Matt. We'll be laughing too hard. That's right, we're going to laugh our asses all the way to Wakanda. You do know Wakanda's a fictional place. There could be mermaids living there for all I know. It's all made up, but not in your world, Matt. Give us a white Black Panther. We need a good laugh.
On their own, I don't care about them. I do care about the racial double standard, which we are being conditioned to accept. Because another word for racial double standard is racism. This is racist. And that's why it matters.
So there's a double standard, huh, Matt? Well, guess what, Matt? There is no double standard in the underwater world of mermaids, but there is a double standard out here in the real world, whether it be housing or education or healthcare or treatment by law enforcement or treatment by the courts or a million other things. Yes, Matt, there is a double standard. And guess what? Black people are on the wrong side of it. You have something called white privilege, Matt. Do you know how privileged you are? Your white privilege is so strong that you're upset over a black mermaid. Think about that. That's the biggest problem you have today, a black mermaid. Guess what? Jackson, Mississippi has real water problems, Matt, because they don't have any water. They can't drink water. And no, a mermaid can't live in it. And you know what else, Matt? Their water's black, and that is not the color their water is supposed to be. How dare you, you punk-ass idiot. Sorry, people. I'm sorry. I got a little upset. The idiocy of this rant got to me. But let's back off. I will not be mad about it. Let's take another look at the Little Mermaid. So, Matt, suppose she was white. You know what she would be, Matt? She'd be an immigrant. And I'm going to say she'd be an illegal immigrant. You know why? Because she doesn't have pockets or a purse. So she can't be carrying papers. You can't carry papers in a giant tail. So now she's an illegal immigrant. And guess what, Matt? She's not wearing pants. She's not wearing anything from the waist down. She's an indecently exposed illegal immigrant, and yet somehow you're okay with it as long as she's white. My God, if she swam to Florida, Ron DeSantis would have to put her on a plane and send her to Martha's Vineyard, where the water is much colder and she probably wouldn't be as happy. But as long as she was white, I guess that would be okay. Listen, Matt, over here in the real world, we have bigger problems than the color of mermaids. I'm glad this is all you have to worry about. I'm sad that you're on the wrong side of this issue. But trust me, you don't need to fight me because you're going up against Disney, against whom you haven't got a chance. You are not a pimple on Disney's ass. Oh, Disney, those are the big boys. You tell them what color to make their characters. I'm going to be over here watching Aladdin and trying to figure out, is he black or white or somewhere in between? Wait a minute, isn't he made of blue smoke? Damn it, how did Aladdin get past this and the mermaid can't? What is going on?